Hello everyone, welcome to the session on Python programming. We have introduced the concepts of programming and how programming is actually done in Python in previous sessions. We have talked about few concepts. We have talked about some uniqueness. So in today's session, you're going to see how coding actually happens in programming, in Python programming. You're going to learn how to code in Python. That's the objective of this session. And the logo that you see here, this is the Python logo, right? And what you see here is actually the Colab from Google. We are going to use this as the environment in which we are actually going to do coding. As I covered in some session, people typically ask the participants to download Python and then start doing coding. We are living in a cloud era. So let's leverage the offering from Google to do the coding, right? It's a very interactive and user-friendly development environment. When I say development environment, I mean the environment in which you're actually going to type the commands, type the syntaxes. Okay, so we're going to use Colab. If you have not downloaded it, please download it because this is going to be quite handy for you, because as I teach, you're going to try that, okay, in this development environment. You can access this either from your mobile phone or from the laptop. Colab is available as an app. You can download it just like how you will download any other app. It's pretty user friendly, and this is the symbol that you will see in the App Store. Okay, so if you have not downloaded this development environment, Colab, I strongly recommend you, to do it now, because that's the environment we are going to use for teaching Python programming. As I said, it's very user friendly, very interactive. Okay, you're going to see more of that in this session and in other sessions. Okay, so please download it if you have not downloaded this development environment. How you do it? As I said, if you're having a laptop with you, you don't need to download anything. You just have to go and type collab.research.google.com. Okay, collab.research.google.com. Okay, you will have it. If you are using a mobile, okay, if you are using your mobile, you have to download Google Colab. Okay, how will the Colab look? As I said, this is the symbol. Okay, CO, and in fact there is a small bulb as well. Okay, so go ahead and download it. Right, it's like an app. It's like how you will download any app in your mobile. So that's how Google Colab is. And as you can see here, it has allotted some space for us. Before this comes, it will say connect. Okay, when you click connect, this is automatically allotted. Okay, which means all the processing can happen. You need to first connect. Remember what we saw in the cloud session? You don't need to buy costly hardware and software. Okay, it's all happening in the cloud. So Google is providing this free of cost to all of us, right? Just like how Gmail is free, this is also free, right? So we are going to make use of it. In the good old days, remember what I said, you have to actually download Python. Still many people are doing it. That's a different story, okay? Still there are people who say that when they start a Python class, they will say, please download Python, right? So there are better ways of doing programming in today's world, okay? So can you understand? So go ahead and download Google Colab, right? So we are going to get started, right? So before we actually get into the core Python, I just want to take a minute or probably 2 minutes, right, minute or two, explaining this low level versus high level programming language. Remember what I have been saying, right? In Python and many other high level programming languages, right? Like for example, C++, Java, these are what is called as high level programming language. Okay. Here, the kind of command is you are telling the computer to do some action. That is what you are typing. Okay. That command, okay, is written in English language. It is because you have to understand it. Okay. How will the computer understand it? How will the computer understand it? Right. It has to be in machine language. Okay. So which is why the computers understand it in what is called as a low level language. So you are writing it in high level language. The computer understands it in low level language, right? For computers, everything is 0 and 1. Okay. So you need an interpreter, something that converts your high level language to low level language. Do you understand? You are writing it in a language that all of us can understand. As you can see, it's simple words, right? The words that we use in English. Now the computer is understanding in a low level language. So you use what is called as an interpreter. Sometimes we also use compiler. Okay. It is used to convert low level to high level to low level. Both are needed. Okay. So please understand that. Of course, they require large memory space. That is one. But in addition to that, if still people write in low level language, actually don't think low level is actually low. In fact, still many people write programs in low level. It is very, very difficult to write programs in low level language. You need to have very high programming and mathematical skills. Okay. Actually, it's a misnomer, I will say. We are writing it in a so-called low level, okay, calling it as a high level language. It's actually a lot simpler. Whereas the language in which computers understand is the nomenclature, is low level language, but it's a lot tougher to write. Okay. Still, many people do it because you have to, certain activities can only happen at that level. Okay. It's a very specialized skill set. And you see, the number of such programmers are usually very low. Okay. Because it calls for a different kind of specialization. You understand? Uh, uh, the high level programming language, right? Uh, Python is a high level programming language because we program, okay? We use commands, okay? We use syntaxes, okay? That are like everyday, speaking language. So it's a high level programming language. The other examples are C++, Java. These are also high level programming languages. Okay. So before we get into programming, I want you to understand this difference between procedure oriented versus object oriented. Before, even within the high level programming language, we first had procedural programming. Here we do instruction computation step by step. Okay. So even here, the programming is step by step, but then here it is based more on problem solving approach. Okay. We use objects, we use methods, many of the other ways, okay, where the development and maintenance are much easier. In programming, procedural programming, it is so much difficult to maintain the codes, especially when the project becomes very lengthy. Okay. Procedural programming doesn't simulate the real world. This is a very important thing. Whereas in object oriented programming, it simulates the real world entity. Okay. You can hide data, so it is more secure. Okay. Whereas procedural languages, it is very difficult. Okay. The binding is not that strict. Examples of procedural languages are C. Okay, before C++, there was C. Okay, there used to be something called Fortran. We also had something called Pascal. Okay, the object-oriented programming, C++, Java, .NET, and of course Python. Right? So it's not just a high-level programming language; it is also an object-oriented programming language. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. So let's get back to Google Colab. As I said, please download it if you have not downloaded it. Okay, that is for people who use mobile, to attend classes. Mobile is your dominant mode of, accessing the computing world, right? Those of you who got a laptop or a computer, please use, go and type collab.research.google.com. You will get it. See, you can still try it in your browser in mobile, but it is less slow. Okay. As I said earlier, this whole thing itself, takes time. So have patience. Okay. In fact, when I was trying, I was getting jittery. Okay. I was getting impatient. Okay. Please understand, Google is allotting some space, right? RAM and disk, right? It is allotting some space for us. It is allotting some processing power for us, right? Of course, I'm sure Google has payment options also. Okay. If you pay, you get this gray shade, will become bigger, right? So you can store. Remember what we saw in the cloud session, along with AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google has also got its cloud service. Okay, chargeable is available, right? Commercial establishments go and buy it from Google, right? You understand? So see this here. As I mentioned, high level programming language, it is written as if you and I talk, like print. Okay, can you see this here? If 8 is greater than 6, like how you will speak. Okay. And the other point that need to note, I told this in yesterday's session also. It is a good practice to mention about what you are doing using hash. Okay. Do you understand? Okay. So please, and another thing, right? This is something for you to know. If you make a mistake, in fact, the way you are writing, it is called as a syntax. Okay. Syntax is the way you write. You are giving a command. This is a command. You are giving a command to the computer. And the way you write it, for example, print, there is a bracket, right? Within that, there is a double quote. This is what is known as syntax. For example, you are writing here, if 8 is greater than 6, you are putting one colon, then you are giving some space and you are putting print. Okay, this is known as syntax. If you don't write it properly, okay, it will give you an error, what is called as a syntax error. Can you see here? It is showing it in red. In fact, it is also showing it in red here. Okay. Such kind of luxury was not there 10 years back or 20 years back. Okay. It is pointing to the error in red. It is showing it in red. And you can also see why it is a expected and indented block. It is expecting something, right? Remember I said you need to give some space. Here I have not given some space. Okay, it is telling it's an indentation error. I should have given an indentation. Okay, it is English, indentation error. And the beauty is it is also giving, this is a forum where they discuss about programming concepts, right? It is telling, click search, I will take you to the place where a discussion is happening on this error. See how easy life has become. Do you understand? Now you understand why even school students can learn programming. This luxury was not there before. So life has become a lot easier. Any questions? Please feel free to ask. This is very important. Okay. And if you have to write a fresh line of code, right, you just click here. Right. I'll just write this once again. So for you to see. See, I have copied also. See, it is coming in red. Can you see it? And if I put an indentation and do this again, see, it came in gray. Did you notice? I run it, it is in red. It's telling it's not right. I just make the change in syntax and run it again, it's in gray. Can you see it now? This is how easy it is. And many of it, as you can see here, it is written as if, you and I are talking. That is why this is a high-level programming language. Okay. It's also auto-saving, right? You can share with your friends, right? So a lot of options are available in this. Okay. Let's go back to this. So you understand, right? So we saw the printing. I've just copy pasted here. Okay. The code. Okay. So the first one that we did, print hello world, we got hello world. Right? And this we explained, right? Because of the indentation error. It is even telling line 2 where the error is happening. Okay. So you can go and check. Suppose if you are writing 100 lines of code, this is so good, right? You know exactly where the mistakes are happening. Okay, so let's see some more thing. As I said, please don't get out of this practice. This is a very good practice. Some cultures are not good at documentation, right? So, but don't make that mistake. Even if you become an experienced programmer, have this hash. When you put hash, as you can see, this is in green color. This won't get processed at all. It will skip the line. Why we have it? This is because, for us to understand. When you have large chunks of code, it is important that you manage the codes. Right? And as you can see here, you can x equals 8. This is a number. Y equals j. This is a string, right? This is a character. I cannot split j, right? This is what is known as a character. We saw that earlier too, right? This is a character. This is a type of variable. If you see, we are not declaring. If you see, we are not declaring. Python is intelligent enough to understand based on what you are inputting, because Python is capable of understanding this. Okay. And see this, you can have a double quote or a single quote. This is also easier, right? Any character, any name, let's say for example, you want to put x equals Tom. Right? Or x equals, say, Shreya, right? So that gets understood by the computer. And you're just printing. You give print x, print y, it will print. Do you understand? Very simple, right? Very simple, right? So all of you are going to try this. That is an exercise for you. All of you are going to try this. You're going to download Colab, or if you have a computer, you're going to use that Colab, right? If let's say you are having struggle, I'm sure you can find a way out, right? When we want our favorite apps, we find a way out, right? Go and search in Google. Colab is not installing properly, right? We go and do that, right? For our favorite apps. We find a way out. I'm sure, this generation can easily find a way out. As I said, it's very easy. But still, if you find challenges, go ahead, find a way out, right? I'm very confident that you'll be able to figure it out. It's very easy. So once you do it, you just type it. How many of you are actually doing it now as I speak? Is anyone trying it in your collab? Someone is trying. 3 people. Good. Good. Few of you are trying it. Very good. Right? Very simple, right? So that's how easy it is Python, right? And now with the solid foundation and concepts, you'll be able to do a very good job. Right? So let's move on to other things, right? So here we are saying x equals j is the same as x equals j, right? That is a single quote and a double quote. What is the difference between these two? Can you please tell me? Whereas if I say print x, it is typing. Whereas if I the one below, it's not printing. What is the mistake? There is no brackets. There is no parenthesis. See, it is even telling what is the mistake, right? It is even telling, did you mean print x? Okay. Did you mean print x? I think it can't get any more easier, right? It's even telling, did you mean print x? Okay, that is actually the reason. So here we have put it in brackets. Here we have not put it in brackets, right? So please note that, Python can understand, the type of variable that is being declared. Python can easily understand. Do you understand? Okay. Whether it's a single quote or a double quote, that is fine. And please use hash, to explain things, right? Let's say you are attending this course, right? After a while, you may forget. And let's say you are going and re-looking at the code a month later. So you need to understand, right? You need to comprehend, right? So this will help you. Clear? Okay. So a variable, right? It must start with a letter or an underscore character. Okay. What is a variable? What we are declaring x, y, these are variables. Okay. You can even declare it as weight, college name, school name. You can even have an underscore, school underscore name, because this is so difficult to read. Or you can have a short name like A and B or X and Y. Right? I can even declare it as a name. Right? Name equals J. Number equals 8. Right? But a variable name cannot start with a number. Please understand. It must start with a letter or an underscore character. What is an underscore character? This is an underscore character. Please note that variable names are case sensitive. The three are 3 different variables. This starts with a small a, this starts with a capital A, this is all caps. Understand? This is a way of naming convention in variables. So here you can put name equals J, right? Number equals 8. If you put it with a small n and if you're calling using a capital N, it won't recognize. Clear? Clear? Any doubts on this? It's important that you understand. Okay. And you can also find out what is the type of variable that I have taken. See, for example, I have taken a equals 6. Okay. Print type of a. See, what type is it? The way you speak, the way I speak, right? Print type of a, it says integer, int. Here a equals j, we are telling print type of a, it's string, right? Clear? In other languages, you have to actually first declare that a is an integer, a is being used to store integers. You have to actually do that. Not in Python. Okay? You don't have to declare. Python will make the assumption. You can declare as well, right? Nothing prevents you. Okay? But you don't have to. Clear? Okay. So if it is a number, what we saw here is a string. What we saw here is an integer. Right? So you can have 6.0. You can even have a scientific number, right? What is a scientific number? Anyone? What is a scientific number? I can have exponential, right? One, yeah, 1 million or 1 lakh can be written as, or 10 lakhs can be written as 10 to the power of 6. Right? So for that, we have different type. Okay. So integer, right? You can have 5, that is just the number without decimal. It can be positive or negative. Float, it is typically decimal. It can also be used for scientific, that is to the power of 10, e, and all that, right? Complex, you can have a mix of number and what is called as alphanumeric, right? It's called as 1j, just an example. And I print what type is it. Do you understand this? If you don't understand, please raise your hand. Okay. I'll go over this once more. Okay. Okay. And I can convert one number type to another also. Okay. So here, let's say, I have, see how beautifully I have done. X equal to 5. For my benefit, I have put hash and I have said integer. Y equals 6.8. For my understanding, I am putting hash float. Z equal to 5j, I am putting complex. So I am converting this from integer to float. So what I am doing, I use float of x. From float to integer, I declare this. That's all I'm doing. Right? Can you try it out as we are talking? Can you try it out in your Colab? Did you at least print hello world? The first output that we want to see, right? So please try it out, right, as we are talking. Remember, the Colab that, I just copy pasted it. That's all, right? It is the way it comes in the Colab window. Any doubts? Please try it, okay? I want all of you to try it. Okay. So you can use it to develop Python to develop a random number. Sometimes, when you are doing activities, when you have to do testing, you may have to develop a random number. Okay. Python does not have a random function. Okay. Function is, any of you remember function? We covered it in the flowchart class. Anyone want to make an attempt? What is a function? What else? What else? It's a repeatable chunk of code, right? If I have repeated set of activities, okay, I use functions. So I don't have to write the code again and again and again. So I write a piece of code and give the name. Whenever I call the name, all that I have written in the code will be executed. Right? You can create your own functions, and some functions are built in. Okay. This is a built-in module called random. So which is why you are importing. Okay. And this is the keyword for giving the range. Okay. Random range, random dot random range. Okay. You are printing it. Remember what I said, function. Function is a very, very important concept. Okay. It's a repeatable chunk of code. Whenever you have repeated activities that is going to happen in your software program, you have to convert those repeated set of activities and create a function, because it's better manageability, right? Because when the length of the code increases, managing the code is a Herculean task. So you have to write functions. Functions is a right way of managing set of sequence of codes. Okay. So there is no function, built-in function, right, to make a random number. So you are importing a module called random. Okay. So in that module there will be many functions. Okay. So you are first importing it and then using it. Okay. So please note that strings can either be single quotation marks or double quotation marks, characters, right? Names, right? So x equals hello world, print of x, print type x. Can you all try it? At least this, can you all try it? So what are the things you you have tried so far? As I talking, you are typing a few things, right, in the Colab window. What are the things you have tried so far? Hello world, right? What else? Okay, converting data type, right? Right. Okay. What are the other things? So you've tried, the type of integer you have entered, what type it is. Okay, good, good. Okay. See, I want all of you to try it. It's not just a few of you who is attending the uh, training. I want all of you to try it. See, it's very simple, right? It's not difficult at all. It's very simple. So take your time, right? And even after this session, I want you all to go and try it. Okay. And as you saw, it is even telling where the error is. Okay. It is showing it in red, making life easier for you. It is showing you which line the error is. It is showing you, the forum where some discussions are happening around the error. What more you want, right? So life is a lot easier in Python. Okay. So we saw integers, right? We saw numbers, we saw characters, right? The other one is what is called as Boolean. Boolean is true or false. Can anyone tell me what is being checked here? It is checking a condition, yes, and it has returned some value also. What is it checking? Go ahead. Similar characteristics? No, I don't think so. Correct. It is checking whether both numbers are equal. Right? See, that's what it is checking. It is checking. Remember what we saw? If 8 is greater than 6, we said print 8 is greater than 6. Remember we saw that? Where did we see? See here? We saw this, right? If 8 is greater than 6, print 8 is greater than 6. Now I can bring this condition right inside the print window. Okay. Print. If 8 is greater than 6, it will say true. That's all it will say. Okay. Print is 5 equal to 6, true or false. Print is if 100 is less than 160. Clear? Any doubts? Please try it. Please try it. Okay. Okay. So similar to this, what are the other operators that we have? We have addition, we have subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, right? Exponential, right? These are, more the scientific functions. But you see, major things are covered, and the scientific functions are also covered, right? Besides many other scientific functions, like if you want to, the world of trigonometry, right? Sin x, sin y, it can tell. Okay. In the session on applied statistics, we saw about regression, right? We saw y equals mx plus c. You can programmatically find out. We're going to do that. Clear? Okay. So all these are possibilities for us. So similarly, we just saw this example. It means, is it equal? If you put an exclamation and you put this, it is not equal, right? In fact, some languages have equal to and then they put a cross mark also. Okay. But here we are talking, exclamation equals. No, not equals. Greater than, less than. Okay. The reason why we have is, why we don't have an equal to and a cross mark is, if you see the computer, you don't find that easily. Not equal to symbol is not there, in our computers or in the keypad that is there in mobile. It's not part of the standard keypad. So hence we are not using that and using an exclamation mark. See, we want this to be as easy, right, as possible. So we are now going to go and search for not equal to symbol. Okay, then we have greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. You can check all of this. Okay, then we have comparison operator, right? Similar to what we saw, equal, not equal, greater than. Okay, then logical operator. You can also check and x less than 5 and x less than 10. Can you try it out in the Colab? Print x less than 5 and x less than 10. Can you try it? Please try it. Are you getting it? Are you getting the answer? Okay, so try it. Okay, if you're not getting it, play with it. As you can see, you're even getting the syntax error, right? Try to understand. Okay, then we have the R statement. Then you have not also. Okay, you can declare x equals this something and then print x less than 5 and x less than 10. That's how you will go and implement it, right? Because you want to test this out. And similarly, you can have this not also and give a number input x also, right? And you can have loop. We are going to see another session on loops. Okay, are you all clear? Okay, then yeah, yes. See, understand, as part of checking, we are checking is it equal to. Because if you use a single equal to, how will you input? For example, in this, you want to input x as say 2. For putting that, you are using x equals 2, right? You can't have double equal. If you means double equal, what Python will assume is, are you checking if x is equal to 2? Do you understand? That's what Python will. That's what Python will understand. Whenever you are putting two equals, it means that a condition. Are you checking something? Are you checking the variable you have declared? Is it equal to some number? Clear? Okay. So we can't have two equal to symbols while declaring or while inputting some values into a variable. Okay. And here, as I said, it can also check if a specified value is there. Okay, we are going to see in the session on arrays. Okay, if let's say you have a range of marks, students are there. If you want to find out if any student has actually scored 100 out of 100, right? You have list of students, you have marks. If you want to programmatically check if anyone has scored 100, you can check that. You can also check if has anyone got 0. Okay, it can check that also. Do you understand? But remember, did it occur to you that 0 is there in 0 10, 20, 30, 100 also. How will it check? How will it check? Remember, we want to check if any student has got 0. But 0 is there in 0, 10, 20, 100. Did it occur to you? No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying you have list of students and the marks they have obtained. I want to know, let's say I'm the principal. I want to know if anyone has got 0, right? But if you see that number 0 is there in 0, 10, 20, 30, and even in 100, how will it programmatically check? Remember, sorry, could you come again? Okay, 40, yeah. So you will programmatically say, okay. So you are saying that in 20, 30 and all, 0 appears after 2, 3 and all. So you have to programmatically check if 0 is in the first digit. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Any other thoughts? See, think you need to, unless you understand. That's a good point. That's a good point you can find using Ray. Yep. See, please understand. 0 you can go and check 0 directly because it's a number, right? The computer will understand a number. It is not a character. Do you understand? Unless you declare a number as a character, right? If you declare, let's say for example, 12 as a character, you can't do any of the addition subtraction because you have defined it as a character. Like your name, like Jay, like Tom, right? The number has been converted into a character. Here we are talking of numbers. Only in character, we have to check like how you said. You go and check where 0 is appearing, which digit, which whether it is the first character or second character, right? Here we are declaring it as a number, so Python will very well know that. You get it? Python will know that it is a number. Once you have declared it as say an integer, it knows the difference between 0 and 10. It knows the difference between 0 and 100. Is that clear to all of you? Okay, so that's what we had for this session. So to summarize, we saw the introduction to Python, and we also saw the Google's Colab development environment. You see, it's pretty user friendly, right? So if you're using a mobile and if you have not downloaded it, I strongly recommend you to do it. Okay, and I encourage you to try um, the exercises we did in today's session. Okay, using the Colab development environment. And as we discussed, we can access it using mobile phone where you download it as an app, or if you're using a laptop, you're just going to type the URL in the address bar, okay, and you will get going. We also saw the difference between high level and low level programming languages, right? Python is a high level programming language. We saw the difference between OOPS and procedural programming, right? Object oriented programming is what is called as OOPS, right? Python is a OOPS language. We got introduced to basic syntaxes, the way of writing commands. We tested it, right, in the development environment. We also learned about variables, characters, integers, float, We learned about operators, simple if statements, we tried it. Boolean operators also something we saw. And we did coding, right? So see how easy it is. As I said, Python is a very user-friendly language, and with Google Colab, our learning will be faster and easier. So that's it for today's session. I will see you in another session. Thank you.